There was a 0.03% chance of success on this deal, 3 in 10,000. And Chum, he had no idea how big of a gamble he was actually taking. Stick around and I will explain exactly how lucky he got. This is no ordinary pack of playing cards.
You know what that is?
A Beta Magic the Gathering starter deck?
Yes, it
Wow.
is.
The seller had been buying these kinds of sets for a while, hoping to strike it rich, but had seemingly mostly struck out.
I've been buying them online when they come available because there's not too many of them. When I open them up, I never get really valuable rares, and I get disappointed. I'm kind of cutting my losses here.
In this case, he paid $30,000 for the deck, and came in asking for $40,000, hoping to make some profit. But unfortunately for him, that wasn't the offer. Chum, on advice of the expert, Matt Quinn of CGC Trading Cards, was willing to pay $25,000. So the seller was now looking at offloading it for $25K. That's a $5,000 loss just to walk away. But it sounds like this loss was much less than some of the others he has taken. As I will explain later, it's actually statistically rare to hit it big on these unopened sets, a lesson the seller has apparently been learning the hard way. But the seller wasn't completely walking away at a loss without any hope of profit. He made an unusual deal with Chum. Chum would open the deck, and if after opening it, it happened to contain one card, the legendary Black Lotus, they'd split the profits. That might sound crazy, but 2 signed Black Lotus cards had recently sold for over $500,000 each before this episode was filmed. Presumably unsigned ones, like the seller hoped would be in this pack, would still fetch a pretty penny. So from the seller's point of view, he could take a smaller loss than he normally takes on these decks, with the potential for a big reward. And let's not forget, an Alpha Black Lotus went for $3 million in 2024. Unfortunately for the seller, there was no Black Lotus hiding in this beta deck. But there was a surprise, something he probably wishes he accounted for when making the deal. They found Ancestral Recall, one of the famed Power 9 cards, of the Alpha print variety. Big time double bonus. Now, it's not quite a Black Lotus, but still an incredibly rare and valuable card, especially in the Alpha print run within a beta deck. More on that in a second. The expert placed a jaw-dropping value on it, $150,000. The seller's reaction tells it all. Why so much? Well, beta versions of Ancestral Recall tend to sell for around $8,000, sometimes up to $15,000. But this one was Alpha, a much rarer version. Considering how high the market had gone for other Power 9 cards of the Alpha variety, the expert made a call that it could fetch 6 figures. So Chumlee had taken the gamble. He had bought the entire deck for $25,000 on the advice of the expert. But I really don't think Chum realized just how lucky he got. The odds were not in his favor. I think the expert maybe kind of led him astray here. But it worked out decently. Eventually, in late 2023, not too long after the purchase, they sold the Ancestral Recall for $38,500, way below the expert's high estimate, but still far beyond what most beta cards could ever pull in. The rest of the deck Chum bought? Just $3,500 total for all of the other cards, meaning they sold the whole thing for about $42,000. Without that rare Ancestral Recall card, they would have taken a big loss. After subtracting their $25,000 investment, not factoring in auction fees, the shop netted a profit of roughly $17,000. Not bad for a deck with a 0.03% chance of holding that exact card. Yes, you heard that right. The auction site who later sold the card confirmed. The odds of finding any Alpha Power 9 card in a beta deck, just 3 in 1,000. The odds of pulling this specific Ancestral Recall, 3 in 10,000. Again, Chum got really lucky here. I do hope the seller followed up on this sale though. Hopefully seeing that the Ancestral Recall card didn't fetch anywhere close to the $150K it was appraised for, eased his pain a bit. So was it a smart gamble? Let's just say, in the world of Magic the Gathering, sometimes you tap all your mana and cast pure luck. Make sure to subscribe to help this channel grow. It's fun researching these items and stories, and your support will help me continuing to do so. And if you have any suggestions on items you would like explored more, drop those in the comments. Thanks for watching.